The scales on Zifron's neck flared as alien footsteps reverberated through his cavernous sanctum. Thomas halted abruptly. The archaic detection grid beneath his weathered boots blazed with urgent alerts. He'd trespassed into a prohibited zone, violating at a minimum 3 colony mandates and likely a plethora of ancient earthly prohibitions. His pulse surged as he flattened himself against the clammy crystal facade, his scanner's subtle chirping now a deafening roar in the stillness. The readings were astronomical, off the conventional spectrum. Unlike any discovery the mining outpost had chronicled, that's precisely why he ventured this deep, pursuing the enigmatic signal emanating from his father's antiquated device 3 nights prior. Just a brief 10 minutes, he murmured, securing his backpack. Record the crucial readings and reread. At merely 13 years frail from incessant deprivation, Thomas was hardly suited for such a hazardous expedition. His knees quaked beneath worn denim as he cautiously traversed the treacherous path. Colony. Issued boots, hand-me-downs, a couple sizes too roomy, stumbled on the slick stone. The ARA-9 lunar mining outpost terraformed 3 decades prior lacked abundant resources for burgeoning children, particularly those of discredited scientists. The scanner now pulsated intensely, its screen illuminating coordinates leading further into the unexplored cavern system. The atmosphere shifted upon rounding a corner, noticeably warmer and electrifying, bearing a post-storm ozone aroma, commingled with a more primeval, earthy essence. His foot snagged on a jagged stone, propelling him. A stray pebble danced ahead, swallowed by the inky black. The sound amplified, morphed into a chilling, guttural growl. Thomas froze, heart pounding, holding his breath for a long 28 counts before cautiously proceeding. Suddenly, the claustrophobic passage gave way to an immense chamber, an impossibility within a moon. His headlamp illuminated breathtaking fragments, colossal crystalline structures dwarfing colony ships, walls adorned with symbols like a fusion of future tech and ancient lore, and a breathtaking kaleidoscope of colors, reflecting and refracting endlessly. Crystalline facets projected kaleidoscopic refractions onto the ancient stone, a vision of sublime beauty intertwined with sheer terror as his light glanced off a colossal shifting form. A voice, bypassing his ears to reverberate within his mind, ancient, amused, and perilous. "You are not welcome here, little spark." "I merely explore," Thomas choked, his voice trembling. "I meant no intrusion." A profound seismic rumble of amusement echoed through the chamber, scattering minuscule crystalline fragments which chimed like ethereal bells as they descended. Adventure, discovery. That's the common refrain before they attempt to seize what rightfully belongs to another. With a swoosh like sails billowing, colossal wings emerged from obscurity. Thomas's headlamp illuminated the origin of the utterance, a dragon, its scales a shimmering cerulean emerald transitioning to profound sapphire along jagged ridges. Golden eyes with slit pupils scrutinized him with timeless wisdom. Formidable claws guarded an opulent coffer overflowing with impossible-hued gemstones, breathtakingly real. Thomas murmured, scanner slipping from his shaking grip. "The legends." He trailed off. "The legends ring true." "Indeed," the dragon chuckled, its thoughts resonating. "Legends often stem from truths too daunting to confront head-on. I am Zephrine, keeper of the core shards, and you, puny mortal, have trespassed into a realm few humans glimpse and survive to recount." Any rational colonist would have fled, but Thomas remained, the dragon's imposing aura strangely comforting, a faint echo. Echoes of a lost reverie. I am Thomas Reed. My father, the esteemed Dr. Ellen Reed, vanished while investigating energy signatures here. The dragon's gaze intensified, golden eyes briefly blazing. "Reed? Yes, I recall. Respectful for a human, he requested permission before extracting samples." Zifron's colossal head dipped. He mentioned a son. A surge of hope coursed through Thomas. You encountered him? What transpired? 3 lunar cycles passed. He sought the crystal's resonant frequencies. The dragon boomed, shifted, unveiling more treasure held firmly in his grasp. Ruthless corporate spies pursued him relentlessly, triggering a fierce conflict. Thomas's burgeoning hope crumbled. Is he truly gone? A perplexed Thomas questioned. That is a deeply nuanced inquiry concerning heart crystals, Zephyrin responded cryptically. However, his corporeal presence no longer graces these corridors. Though accustomed to sorrow after 3 months of agonizing ambiguity, Thomas felt a fresh wave of grief overwhelm him. He collapsed onto the unyielding stone floor, disregarding the jagged edges piercing his denim. They propagated the lie that he'd lost his mind, that he'd pilfered. Company gear and bolted from the settlement. Corporations deceive. It's inherent to their essence, Zifron remarked, surprisingly tender for a beast with fangs dwarfing Thomas's forearm. Your father unearthed what Void Corp has secretly known for ages. These crystals aren't just scarce minerals, they're memory crystals, repositories of an ancient civilization's advanced technology. The dragon adjusted his claws, meticulously organizing the horde. Corporations exploit them for power, obliterating invaluable wisdom in the process. Your father grasped their true worth. Thomas rubbed his weary eyes with a soiled sleeve. Why reveal this to me? Because you sought truth, not mere riches. The dragon's gaze intensified. And because I vowed it to Ellie Reed. Before Thomas could probe further, a tremor rippled through the cavern, sending dust and crystals cascading down. Mining blasts, Thomas realized, identifying the sequence. They're excavating in the northern sector, far too close to unexplored regions. They've encroached further with each passing cycle, Ziffin rumbled ominously. The true audio signal trailed off. Telepathic echoes intensified as Void Corp brazenly advanced, hunting the mother lode. This chamber and its heart crystals, which I, as protector, fiercely guard. The dragon's gargantuan talons delicately sifted through the glittering gems, unveiling an exquisite chest. A bizarre spectacle unfolded. An artifact ripped from ancient Earth folklore, its wooden panels adorned with golden artistry, nestled amidst pulsating, radiant crystals. Your father entrusted me with something precious, Zifrin revealed, foreseeing its potential necessity should his return prove impossible. With surprising delicacy, considering its colossal claws, the dragon retrieved an item from the horde. Not a glittering gem or pulsing artifact, but a humble, time-worn object. Thomas's breath hitched. My robo-fox. The toy, a diminutive mechanical fox boasting jointed limbs and time-worn orange fur, had been his steadfast confidant until his 10th year, when he deemed himself too mature for such childish comforts. Crafted by his father in his 4th year, it ingeniously integrated salvage tech from the colony's nascent stages. Its glass eyes still gleamed, radiated brilliance, despite its worn synthetic fur and crooked ear. Your father enhanced it before entrusting it to me, Ziffin revealed, gently setting the toy before Thomas. He believed you'd grasp its significance eventually. The second blast echoed closer, shaking loose larger crystals that plummeted dangerously nearby. They're using raw plasma charges, Thomas exclaimed, horror creeping in. If they breach this chamber, imagine the ensuing energy cascade. It would annihilate your colony, Zifron stated gravely. These crystals have suppressed their energy for ages. A sudden release would be apocalyptic. Thomas lifted the RoboFox, noticing it was surprisingly warm. Its eyes pulsed with a blue light as his fingers grazed its head, a new feature he hadn't observed before. But why would my father entrust you with this? He questioned. It possesses the schematics for a resonance dampener, a device designed to safely dissipate surplus energy from the crystals. Hard crystals averting calamitous eruption. Zephron's wings fluttered anxiously. He lacked time constructing it before detection. A third explosion jolted the chamber intensely close. Thomas felt plasma discharge heat. "They're closing in," he stated unnecessarily, clutching roof to his chest. "Our course of action?" "We face three paths," Zephon responded, towering, nearly brushing 30-foot ceiling, with ridged back. "I can reposition hard crystals, though many would perish in. I could try collapsing the access tunnels, but that would almost certainly kill the mining crew and potentially cripple your colony's life support, which siphons power from the crystal network." Thomas paused, a glimmer of inspiration in his eyes. "Or we find another way." His fingers deftly located a concealed seam on the Robo-Fox's back panel. "My father wouldn't have wanted needless death. There must be a better solution." He pressed the familiar pattern, a secret he had unearthed years ago while tinkering with his favorite toy, enhancing its capabilities. Fox's rear panel glided open, not the crude clockwork he recalled. Within resided a sophisticated data crystal and holographic projector. "He revolutionized you, pal," Thomas breathed. A press of the crystal ignited a hologram. His father's face, gaunter than remembered. The urgent message: "Thomas, if you see this, you've located Zephron. Excellent. The corporation is aware of the hard crystals. They crave them, but lack comprehension. They only seek to exploit, process them for quantum computing, oblivious to the obliteration of a civilization's heritage." His father's image cast a nervous glance. Robo-Fox harbors the blueprints for a crystal network communicator, capable of transmitting a shutdown sequence to all mining apparatus connected to the colony's core. A safeguard I embedded within the initial colony's architecture, yet Void Corp executives purged it upon their takeover. Another explosion echoed, both within the simulation. And serendipitously, deep within the cavern, "My time wanes," his father's projection declared. "Zephron shall be your guide. Place your faith in him. The activation sequence is the day we unearth the amber crystal cluster within Sector 12. Recall your 8th birthday." The hologram offered a melancholic smile. "I hold you dearly, my son. Regretfully, I was unable to return home." The message concluded, leaving Thomas gazing into the void. "Your father possessed immense courage," Zephron communicated gently, mentally, "and profound wisdom. He realized harmony could exist between dragons and mankind." Another explosion resonated nearby, intensifying the cavern's tremors. Frantically, I recall Thomas mentioning the date as his fingers danced across the small interface materializing from Robo-Fox's chest. "I know how to construct this. Dad instilled basic engineering skills in me from childhood." Zephron remarked, head cocked as if attuned to ethereal sounds. "We have, perhaps, 20 minutes before their breach." Thomas, already divesting his backpack and extracting his ever-present portable toolkit, affirmed, "It must suffice." What ensued was a feverish synergy between youth and dragon. Zephyr bestowed meticulously chosen crystals, each resonating with unique, finely tuned patterns from his personal collection. Tomas channeled an almost preternatural speed and focus, characteristics that simultaneously crowned him the school's engineering prodigy and its most routinely reprimanded pupil. Rufox's systems acted as the core processor, its elementary AI invigorated by the crystal Tomas's father implanted. The toy's eyes intensified their luminescence as each new component clicked into place. "This is defying all known limits," Tomas murmured, as he skillfully soldered a connection between a heart crystal and this revolutionary organic crystal CPU, merging cutting-edge organic tech with conventional electronics, boldly defies at least 16 established physical laws. Your species' grasp of physics is delightfully quaint, Ziffin mused, a mental amusement coloring his thoughts. The civilization responsible for these crystals pioneered the fusion of organic and inorganic technologies eons before humanity even grasped the concept of electricity. Another devastating blast, closer than before, sent a network of cracks spreading across the chamber wall. "They're on the verge of breaching our defenses, Tomas." Worked, fingers dancing over connections. The resonance dampener is nearing completion. Zephyrin mused, observing the device coalesce. "But how will you propagate its signal through solid rock?" Thomas halted, the dragon's query underscoring a fundamental flaw. "The signal cannot pierce the crystal formations between us and their tech." Silence descended, the weight of their predicament heavy. Then Zifron's golden eyes ignited. "There is an alternative. A dragon's mind can project through the crystal network. It's how we connected across immense distances before you arrived on this moon." "Can we amplify the signal?" Thomas inquired, hope surging. "I can become the signal," Zephyr clarified, "but I require a focal point, something linking human tech and the crystal network." His gaze fixed on the roof. "Your companion was crafted with profound affection, a potent energy, enhanced with crystal tech by your father, and now further amplified by you." Thomas instantly grasped. "I understand you need to forge a potent psychic nexus with RoboFox and you," Zifron amplified. "The triad must harmonize draconic tech in human will." The mine's adjacent wall ignited crimson as plasma cutters initiated their terminal descent. "Is it going to sting?" Thomas questioned, a tremor betraying his composure. Zifron's telepathic voice gentled. "A novel sensation, perhaps, but I shall safeguard your psyche from harm." Thomas inhaled deeply, bracing his hands on RoboFox. "Time to shine." Zephyrin inclined his colossal head, a single golden eye meeting Thomas's gaze. A scaled lid flickered shut, a draconic wink of encouragement, Thomas surmised. Then the dragon extended a talon, gently contacting both boy and toy. The world erupted in blinding light and overwhelming sensation. Thomas felt his awareness surge beyond his body, hurtling through luminous pathways that branched across the moon like a vast neural web. He perceived the mining operation, 14 souls toiling. 7 colossal drilling rigs were closing in on Zephron's chamber. He sensed the colony beyond, 5,000 souls living their lives, oblivious to the impending doom. Alongside his awareness, Zephron's ancient, potent, yet surprisingly tender essence flowed, guiding him through the crystalline web. Now the dragon's thought resonated. "Issue the command." Thomas centered his mind on the shutdown sequence his father had ingeniously programmed into RoboFox, imagining it coursing through the crystal pathways to the mining apparatus. Initially silence. Then it began. A catastrophic wave of power outages engulfed the mining operation. Drilling platforms plunged into absolute darkness. Plasma cutters coughed their last before dying completely, and emergency lights blinked on weakly as bewildered voices reverberated through the tunnels. "It worked!" Thomas cheered triumphantly, his consciousness still bonded to the dragons. "Indeed," Zifrin concurred, "but this is only a fleeting respite. They will try to subvert the shutdown by exploiting their shared awareness." Tomas perceived the validity of the dragon's analysis immediately. Mining technicians were already struggling to restore their systems. "We desperately require a more permanent resolution," Thomas announced, a brilliant concept sparking through their link, the intricate crystal network. "It's integrated with the colony's power infrastructure, correct?" "Affirmative," Zefron validated. "Your civilization extracts a minuscule portion of its energy to sustain your settlements." "Precisely," Thomas exclaimed, the strategy solidifying. "We won't disable their systems, but unveil the reality." With Zephron's direction, Thomas delved further into the network, accessing profound historical archives, visions of a bygone civilization, simultaneously captivating and cautionary. Humanoid and draconic beings intertwined, a symphony of cooperation surged within him, unveiling profound insights into eco-friendly energy sourcing, rendering Void Core's ravaging mining obsolete, vindicating his father's ultimate revelations. "Now we disseminate," Thomas proclaimed, as they unleashed the information across the colony's network, instantly saturating every screen, device, and public display, revealing the unadulterated truth about the heart crystals, exposing the depravity of the void. Corpse concealment, groundbreaking sustainable solutions unveiled by Dr. Ellen Reed. As awareness flooded back, Thomas crumpled beside the treasure chest, utterly spent but victorious. Robo Fox's eyes, though fading, still pulsed blue, its energy nearly exhausted. "Will they accept it?" Thomas queried, his voice strained. Zephyrn's colossal head dipped, scrutinizing him. "Some will refute, some will delve deeper. Transformation is gradual for any race, yet the reality is accessible to those yearning to perceive it." A known voice echoed from Thomas's neglected comm. "Unidentified signal? This is Colonial Security Chief Martins. Is Dr. Reed present? Respond." Thomas recognized the name. Martins had been his father's confidant before his vanishing, one of the few skeptical of the accepted narrative. "Not my father," Thomas answered, "but I located his findings, and I'm not operating solo." A prolonged silence followed. "We're securing a tight perimeter around the mining site. Void Corp leadership is being held for inquiry. Can you discreetly relocate to our coordinates?" Thomas regarded Zephyrin with uncertainty. "You must depart," the dragon declared, his resonant voice a profound tremor. "Your people require a liaison between realms presently." Gently setting Robo Fox amidst the horde, Thomas conceded, "I ought to entrust him to your care. He is integrated within the mechanism now." Ziffin gently pushed the toy back to Thomas with a claw. "Keep him. Your father entrusted his creation to you." Besides, a hint of amusement danced in the dragon's thoughts. "I've safeguarded him sufficiently. The little one's programming has been quite insistent about reuniting with his rightful owner." Thomas smiled, cradling the well-loved toy. "He certainly has a personality." Then more earnestly, "Will our paths cross again?" "I believe it's unavoidable," Ziphon responded. "The bridge between dragons and humans has been rebuilt. We have so much wisdom to exchange." The dragon inclined his head. "In his final moments, your father wisely shifted much of his essence into the crystal network, Thomas. He hasn't vanished. He's beautifully transformed." Thomas felt tears welling. "He's in the crystals? Can I connect?" "Not in the way you recall, but eventually, with the correct interface potentially evolved from your rooftop communicator, interaction could be feasible." Ziffin's golden eyes softened. "He's eternally watching over you." Composing himself, Thomas bravely reached to touch the crystal. The dragon's heated snout, armored in scales, felt surprisingly smooth beneath his touch. "Thank you for safeguarding my father's secret and championing his legacy." Ziffin's mental voice radiated approval. "You mirror him greatly, young Thomas Reed. Courageous, ingenious, and perceptive enough to discern true value." The communicator buzzed. "Thomas, we've pinpointed your location. Can you rendezvous with us at Junction 14? "En route," Thomas affirmed, casting a final glance at the age-old dragon and its gleaming treasure. Precisely 11 standard days hence, upon the colony's power grid synchronization for the monthly upkeep, revisit this locale, Ziffin urged. Convene your trusted allies. Substantial endeavors lie ahead if harmonious coexistence between humans and dragons is to grace this moon anew. Thomas nodded, gently nestling Robo Fox into his backpack. "I'll be right here." Traversing the shimmering passages guided by lunar security's tracking, Thomas experienced a radical evolution in his worldview. The moon, once merely a remote mining colony, was now the epicenter of an age-old interspecies alliance, a bond ripe for rebirth. Nestled securely, RoboFox's systems throbbed with revitalized purpose, its crystalline core resonating in harmony with the grander design. A sprawling network embraced the lunar expanse, and within that shimmering consciousness, Thomas sensed his father's enduring legacy, a cosmic bridge poised for unveiling. Behind him, Ziffin nestled onto his opulent hoard, colossal wings retracting as slumber beckoned. The ancient dragon mused on the cyclical dance of history, civilizations ascending and collapsing. Yet, if graced by fate, rediscovering profound wisdom, the boy's return promised a potential dawn embark on a collaborative saga, forged in unity between dragons and humans, transcribed in the ethereal language of crystalline recollections and interwoven aspirations.